Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger. So for Ultra Instinct Goku, obviously the new upcoming character for Dragon Ball FighterZ, we got a pretty big info dump on the character. So Bandai Namco official held a community stream with some people who have early access to the character, and they just showed the character off, just all sorts of details, all sorts of fun stuff, right? And with that said, hey, let's break down everything we learned. So first up here, before we go into the character details, just in case you're not aware, UI Goku is available on May the 22nd, and if you have the season pass, he'll be out 2 days earlier on the 20th. What you're looking at right here is his down light, and yes, it is a true low, and it has 7 frames of startup, so pretty standard as far as like low hitting lights go, but hey, at least it is a low hitting light, because I know a lot of you guys would probably dumpster the character immediately if his downlight didn't hit low. So hey, here you go, it's a low. We have his stand light, which is also 7 frames here. Also, it seems to be pretty active, as we can showcase here in 1 second. So right here, you'll see it says it hits on frame 10, because it's actually well into the active frame, so it didn't hit on the first possible frame. But since it is so active, hey, that's pretty cool. But otherwise, pretty standard jab, 7 frames, so he does not have a 6-frame move, so he doesn't have a fast, quote-unquote, light attack. Coming up here, we see the down medium here, so it's a pretty serviceable down medium, nothing too crazy. Starts up in 13 frames, as you can see. The range, it's definitely not like adult Gohan or Beerus or nothing, right? That is to say the least, but still, it's serviceable enough for what it is. Now, stand mediums where we get very interesting. So the first hit's a kind of standard ball kick, but it is a 2-hitting move, and the second hit is a true low. So somewhat similar to, like, say how adult Gohan stand light works, right? Except in reverse, because it's mid then low. But yeah, also the hits, either hit is cancelable. So you can, like, go into down M or whatever at the second hit, or conversely, the way they have explained it, you can go for, say, a universal overhead after the first hit. So while they're expecting the automatic low follow-up, you can crank them overhead. Very, very interesting tool, and I'm sure it's going to lead to a lot of shenanigans. Here they are showcasing the down H. Now you might see that big whiff right there, right? So it's a 2-hitting move, and only the second hit has the actual launch property of the down H. And the thing is, against non-big characters, so against like Broly or Cell, whatever, if they stand block, you'll get both hits. But against non-large characters, that second hit will just miss. And if I say if they're crouching too, right, then it's just obviously going to miss. So there is some stuff with that. Now, you are airborne afterwards, so you can do follow-ups and potentially, weird little mix-ups here. You are special cancelable after the first hit, so you can go into any air okay special move. One of the examples touted was like you could do it, call an assist to cover your block stun, and then since you are left airborne afterwards, you can like air dash over their head, go for cross-up, something like that, right? But yeah, the only way to get both hits against a opponent who's blocking is basically has to be a standing tall character, otherwise you're gonna whiff. But yeah, as far as down heavies go, pretty unique. Once again, Yamcha is really the only comparable metric, and it has a lot of horizontal coverage, it would seem. Here we have a look at Goku's stand H on block, and as far as stand H goes, in terms of like neutral control or something, it's definitely not going to be like Nappa's or nothing, right? It's not going to have that extreme range. One interesting tidbit that was brought up on the stream was that, hey, it indeed launches up higher than normal after the hit back, so no re-jump combos or anything like that. So hey, all those months ago when we first saw it in the initial trailer, hey, I was right. Hey, hooray for me, I guess, right? But yeah, so no re-jump combos, so you're going to have to go for more standard fare after you get your stand heavy hit. So this guy here is your LLL auto combo, your light auto combo, and some notes about it here. So first up here, the second hit is invincible against low attacks. So if you're like mashing down light, down M, or whatever low attack while you're in the middle of a block string, it will conk you on the head pretty much for free. And the third hit there also is a true grab. So if you were to whiff the first 2 hits and then hit the enemy while they're blocking, it would go through. And thus there's probably going to be some shenanigans with lower block stun assists or something like that. So yeah, pretty interesting. So the second and third hits both have unique properties. Although to note, hey, obviously enough, it does side switch. So if you don't like side switching auto combos, hey, well, at least keep it in mind. Now, next up here, good news if you're a UI Goku fan, bad news if you're a Jiren fan, because Goku basically stole Jiren's basic Ki Blast. So it's basically like a supercharged Ki Blast. Will go through other Ki Blasts, also goes through homing dashes. You cannot homing dash it, although will still lose the beams. So one of the more things unique to Jiren just kind of got taken by UI Goku. Can also get multiple hits if you choose. Also wall bounces, so it has corner combo applications, and you'll see that later in the video. But yeah, so very strong Ki Blast. Also, it's the same if you jump, covers that same angle. So yeah, just pretty good all around. Ultra Instinct Goku's down S, also an upward angled beam here, also goes through homing dashes, so it's not just a basic Ki Blast in that regard. However, as you can see here, it seems to have some difficulty following up with a homing dash after the hit. So don't use it in place of a down H, I guess. It's not going to replace your down H, but still, it's an interesting tool to have, and it hits upwards in the corner when people are jumping in the skybox, which is also always very handy to have. Forward NS is your duelist Liu Kang spinning Ki Blast move here. So can beat homing dashes, as you see. Also, it truly does hit both sides. So if you were somehow like trying to vanish out or something, it will connect on the other side and still hit you. So very interesting. Not many moves in this game hit both sides. And yes, in case you weren't aware, he does have a traditional reflect here. So no Videl reflect, nobody wants that. So now we come to the special moves here. This is the quarter circle forward, light, medium, heavy series. And one interesting thing to note about this here is it's full invincible after he does his initial startup here. So once he does his charge across the screen, that part's full invincible. Although the part where he's slouching, that still, it'll get you hit. But if you can get past that initial roadblock, hey, he'll rush forward and hit you. Also, what's completely ridiculous about this move here, other than obviously get some combo potential, is it's incredibly safe on block. So as you can see here, when the guard is set here, it's only -2 on block, and that seems to be the same for all versions. So it's very low consequence. And considering he has like a whole slew of defensive options, as you'll see as we keep going through the video, -2 is kind of laughable. So the only real penalty for going for the move is if you get hit during the startup. And since the EX version has such wicked fast startup, it's going to be very spammable, very similar to like Yamcha Wolfang Fist. His aerial quarter circle forward series is these Jiren style punches. He has a lot from Jiren, honestly. They're very comparable characters in a lot of ways. One thing that's very good about this here, specifically the medium one for combo bait stuff, no matter what you've done previously in the combo, it will always give sliding knockdown. So almost similar to like say Super Saiyan Goku, right? You could always get sliding knockdown no matter what. So hey, in this game, for UI Goku with the medium quarter circle forward punch series, you can always get sliding knockdown in any combo, no matter what. Now, and one of the most truly unique things about this character here, we have the hops. So this is his quarter circle backlight medium heavy series. So if you do a light hop, it's a single hop. If you do a medium hop, you get multiple hops, and they all have different enders. So if you do a hop and end with light, you get this punch right here, as you just saw. And the beautiful thing about this punch, besides the actual hit, is it's +3 on block. Now, it is airborne, so yeah, you can down heavy it, but sources of plus frames in this game are pretty rare, especially with no resource spent, because this doesn't cost you any bar to do, right? All it is just one of your follow-ups after a hop. So yeah, pretty strong. The medium follow-up is a true command grab. And once again, these light and medium follow-ups, they don't have to match the jump you did. You could do the medium follow-up off the light jump, you could do the light follow-up off the medium jump, it doesn't really matter. And all the jumps are completely projectile invincible, both Ki Blasts and beams. And the heavy flip? Well, the heavy flip is a full invincible attack that leaves the opponent in a crumple state, which you get a full combo after, and this works the same in the air as well, so you can easily catch homing dash. Is very similar to like how, say, Super Saiyan Vegeta can bait out a homing dash with his reversal. Also, this move, the invincible reversal here, is only -10 on block, and it has a decent amount of pushback. So I can actually see some characters somewhat struggling to deal with it in a way, depending character to character, of course, that normally you wouldn't have to worry about with an invincible reversal. Because as far as everything I've seen, this is a frame 1 invincible reversal, and he already has another one to boot, right? So yeah, very, very, very strong to say the least. And here's just a quick example of it crushing a homing dash attempt. From which, hey, also get a full combo extension here, not bad for half a bar. His proper beams, not too much to say, we've already seen them in multiple forms from multiple videos. quarter circle forward and quarter circle back in S. If you do forward, you do a forward flip. If you do back, you do a back flip. Both are air okay. And the air version specifically cover a lot of prime real estate. Very aggressive angle from full screen. So hey, as far as beams go, looks pretty solid to me. Our final base special move here is down down S, and this is a fully invincible move here on frame 1-2 is my understanding. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's an invincible reversal, and that hitbox here seems to go all the way up. So it covers a lot of space above you, but yeah, it's very good get off me button if you're ever feeling pressured. Ultra Instinct Goku also has a unique, only to him wake up. So when you get knocked down in any way, shape, or form, like they're using homing dash in the example here, just hold whatever you got set up for Dragon Rush, and he will flip out and then conk you in the head. So once again, this is only for UI Goku who can do this off any knockdown, but there's a big caveat to this, as it is very much death on block. I believe it's something like -20 on hit. You can vanish it, but it doesn't matter, because if you get blocked and you vanish, you can still get down heavied in return. And since it's so negative anyways on block, you can just get down heavied regardless, so vanishes cannot save you. Only do this if you think it's gonna work and they're gonna pressure you or something like that, right? I know there's going to be a very strong temptation to do it every single time. Please don't do it every single time. But still, it's very good that he has an option that nobody else does. So, forward and heavy for UI Goku is his counter stance. His Aoi Umenakoji stance, if you will, which I'm sure maybe 3 people watching this understand my reference. But yeah, so it basically counters everything. Now, it's not a hard counter in that he doesn't hit you. But it will take you to the other side of the enemy, no matter where they are on the screen. So if they're high up, you'll go high up. If they're on the ground, then hey, you'll go on the ground. So in and of itself, you can't get anything guaranteed, right? It basically leaves you neutral with the enemy. However, the thing here is this. So if they're doing a move that has exceptionally long, like wind up or start up here, so the Kid Buu being the example here, they can't recover in time fast enough to block. So in those situations, you actually can get a guaranteed punish. On most other styles of moves, well, then either you're going to be in a situation where maybe you're like very barely positive, or you're just purely neutral with each other, and whoever hits the button first wins. And once again, he doesn't have a 6-frame button. He has a 7-frame button as his fastest button, so keep that in mind, right? But yeah, but if you do catch the big move, the big beam, or just something with a lot of startup, that point you do get to crank them open and get a full punish. Moving on to his supers, here is the level 1, and yes, it is a side switching super unless, as you can see here, you burn the second bar. So it does have a level 2 follow-up. So otherwise, if you don't use the follow-up, you'll switch sides, but if you do use the follow-up, you will go to the other side. One thing that's kind of big to keep a note here, it's a much lower damage than average level 1 after scaling's taken into mind here. Most supers are like 800, 850 after scaling, and some big ones like Cooler or Teen Gohan are like in the 900s. His level 1 by itself scales at 750 damage. So without the follow-up, it is definitely on the lower end of level 1 damages. He also has an alternate level 1, which is a counter, and I do believe it is a frame 1 counter, and he just gives you the chuck and the smack down. Now, an interesting thing about this one is a true grab, the counter itself, and assists can trigger it. So if you hit him with an assist, he'll teleport to you, grab you, and chuck you. However, very similar to Cooler's level 3, which kind of works on the same principles, the grab is a high grab, meaning you are allowed to duck it, so it's not a guaranteed if you counter the assist by any stretch. And the level 3 super here, so looks very pretty, to be sure. However, applications beyond the fact it looks pretty, it does a fair chunk of damage, not too much. It will side switch, which is annoying, especially for a level 3, and as you can see here, it does dump them basically full screen. So the only way you're going to get any kind of real pressure after this is if you already do a side switch, then re-side switch with the super in the corner, and then maybe you'll get something. But otherwise, hey, this is level 3, it looks fantastic, it looks beautiful, look at this detail, right? And hey, that's pretty much all it is. Now, let's talk perhaps the single most unique feature of this character. So just by walking forward, and no, not dashing or you'll get hit, but by walking forward, you are actually immune to basic Ki Blasts. No one else obviously has this property. As you can see here, the Ki Blast of Frieza just harmlessly going through. And yeah, that's kind of an interesting deal. So if you know basic Ki Blasts are coming your way, you can mostly just walk through them harmlessly. Now, doesn't count against big time projectiles, doesn't count against beams or nothing. Also, special Ki Blasts like Ultra Instinct Goku's own Ki Blast or Jiren's that beat homing dashes, well, the walk won't go through them. So, and I guess in a lot of ways, the walk has the same invincibility against Ki Blast as a homing dash does. Also to note, once you leave the walk and do anything else, be it a jump or dash, you do lose this invincibility, just so you know. So if you're in the middle of going through Ki Blast, your only really safe bets are either to reflect, because reflect does start on frame 1, or his forward heavy stance, the one that teleports you to the other side. That also seemingly starts on frame 1, so you are allowed to do those options, but anything else, you're going to get smacked, so you kind of have to commit to the walk. On to his assist. So this is the A assist, this pillar. And the pillar, one, hey, it's an invincible reversal, the move itself, and the actual assist has some manner of invincibility. However, similar to other invincible assists, it doesn't seem to start on frame 1. And the interesting thing to note here is that pillar, the light that goes up, hey, that actually matches what it looks like. It does actually go that high up. So there's going to be a lot of interesting potential for it, for a lot of combo ability high up on the skybox. Another thing to note here, it's a lower than average block stun assist, so 25 frames, not like super low, but just a little bit lower than average. The B assist is his beam assist, as we've seen in other videos before. The one thing to note here, block stun wise, pretty average, 30 frames of block stun, and honestly, it's pretty bog standard. Beams are always still good, right? Covers a lot of the screen, that's really good and interesting in that regard, but otherwise, it's nothing special. His C assist is pretty standard as far as C assists go. Does have some limited, and I mean limited tracking, as it seems to struggle a little bit to keep up with where the character is in the air. But yeah, as far as C assists go, it's pretty much just another one of those. And that's the breakdown of the character-specific stuff, the character-related stuff. Now, they have been showing off some combos as well. And some of these may be closer to optimal, some of these we'll expand on in time, I'm sure. But still, it's nice to see what the character has potential-wise before he actually comes out. Combo structure-wise, we know he's not going to get like re-jumps off his stand H or anything like that, but he does still seem to have some fun stuff to work with. So I'm just going to let these combos play in the background, so I just want to give you some of my initial impressions here. One, before even combo stuff, one of the things I'm going to find very interesting is how he's going to open people up. The hops are very ingenious, and it's going to screw some people over too. The hops are projectile invincible, right? And you can do your follow-ups from there, and yeah, if you hop too much, you get down heavy, right? However, someone like Frieza, their down heavy is a projectile, which means Frieza can't down heavy Goku while he's going crazy with hops, which is gonna lead to some comedic situations to say the least. Position-wise, in my opinion, given everything we've now seen, I think UI Goku, while he'll obviously work as point, he obviously will work as a mid, I do think he will actually have some viability as an anchor, which is fantastic, as this game doesn't have a lot of characters that just really easily fit into that anchor slot, especially compared to like point or mid, right? He's very self-sufficient in a lot of what I've seen, which is very good. He has some very abusable stuff when it comes to having a lot of meter, like his quarter circle forward heavy. The EX version of that's absolutely nuts. His combo structure is self-sufficient, which is good. You don't want to have assists. He seemingly is able to get sliding knockdown off basically every single combo, which is good. That was one of the most attractive features of Super Saiyan Goku, right? Just be able to get the sliding knockdown, always be able to get pressure, all that kind of stuff. He has good screen control. You know, the Ki Blast is really good. It's like Jiren's, maybe just a little bit better. He has the down S, which controls an upper portion of the screen. His normals are serviceable. Like, they're certainly not like Kid Buu or Broly level, right? But they seem to get the job done, right? Like, outside down M, Super Saiyan Goku never had the best normals either. But yeah, so he just seems like a perfectly fine anchor character, which is fantastic. I'm just very happy to see more characters that can fit that role well. And with all the tools he has, I think he'll do fantastic in it. Not to say that he obviously wouldn't have shenanigans with assists, like all the hop stuff. The left-right potential, B+, get a command grab, all that. Hop stuff seems turbo-built to have assist shenanigans built in, for sure. But it also seems like you'd be able to get a little bit by yourself. The Stand M, since Stand M has the auto-follow with the low, While they're conditioned to block low, then he can do all sorts of other shenanigans as well, go for a universal overhead or whatever, right? But he seems to have tools to work with by himself. Just something as simple as instant air dash M. If you know what's going to be blocked, you can cancel into light hop and then land into the command grab. And while they're like down backing, waiting for, you know, the follow-ups, oh, whoop, they just got command grabbed, right? So I think that could be a potential route of interesting shenanigans for the character. Little bit of theory crafting, I know, to be sure, right? But hey, I don't got the Chinese version, so I don't have the ability to play him just yet. I can only go by what I have just seen. But still, overall, absolutely an impressive character. I don't think he's going to be the best character in the game. I know a lot of people are got the, you know, the shiny new toy feel. Oh, he's definitely the best. Like, in the end, I still think that Kid Buu is going to be a better character. But is he going to be a strong character? Yes. Everything I've seen, I do think he's absolutely going to be a strong character. And to me, even better than being a strong character, he's a very unique character. The only direct comparison you can give him is Jiren, because he does have some stuff Jiren has, but, well, it's basically all better than what Jiren has, sadly. Maybe Jiren gets a buff. I hope there's a balance patch with this, but, yeah, he's very unique. He doesn't really play like a lot of the cast, right? And to me, that unique feeling is the most important thing, versus, you know, we have a character that doesn't really break the mold too much. But other than all that, hey, I guess this video is getting a little long-winded by now, eh? So he is out on the 22nd of May, the 20th if you have the Season 3 character pack. And till then, hey, look forward to him. Can't wait to get my hands on him, just figure out everything he has and can do and can work with. And of course, expect combos and guides and all that kind of stuff on the channel when the time comes. But other than that, my friends, I guess that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Dragon Ball.